A former casino technician just revealed something that shocked even lifelong gamblers. After 12 years working inside some of Vegas's biggest casinos, this insider broke his silence about a strategy that goes against everything the casinos want you to believe. He said, "The biggest jackpots don't go to the luckiest players, they go to the ones who sit down at the right machine at the right moment." And according to his insider testimony, casinos know when a slot machine is entering a high-probability payout cycle. They track it through sophisticated systems that monitor every spin, every coin in, every coin out. The real trick? Getting onto that primed machine without looking suspicious, before someone else takes it. Today, you're going to learn the exact method advantage players use to identify a primed machine, how they take it over naturally, and how they avoid casino attention while doing it. By the end of this video, you'll know the silent trick that only former employees ever talk about. But first, let me tell you about someone who discovered this strategy by accident. Meet Jennifer, a 38-year-old real estate agent from Henderson who thought slot machines were purely random. She'd visit her local casino twice a month, according to her testimony, pick whatever machine looked fun, and play until her $300 budget ran out. Over 3 years, she estimated she'd lost about $18,000. That was until she met a former casino technician named David at a slot tournament. What David told her, according to her own account, changed everything about how she approached slot machines. Most players believe slots are pure randomness. Former employees say that's only half true. Yes, the long-term math is random. But the short-term behavior of a machine, especially one that's been heavily played, follows measurable patterns that casinos track through sophisticated monitoring systems. David explains something that former slot technicians have been revealing in insider reports. According to technical documentation, slot machines communicate with the casino's central server system constantly. Every spin, every win, every loss is logged in real time. According to former IT employees who worked on these systems, casinos monitor machine session logs that track every player interaction, coin in and coin out ratios calculated to the penny, volatility thresholds that measure payout patterns, retention payout cycles designed to keep players engaged, server communication reports that flag unusual machine behavior. When a machine approaches certain thresholds, according to insider accounts, it enters what technicians call a high-activity state. Some former employees refer to this as a primed machine. This doesn't mean a jackpot is guaranteed, but it means the probability of bonus features, medium wins, or volatility spikes increases, according to technical analysis. Here's what David told Jennifer according to her testimony. When a machine takes in a certain amount of money without paying out a significant win, according to the algorithm, it enters what industry insiders call a prime state. The machine hasn't violated its programmed RTP percentage because RTPs are calculated over millions of spins. But in the short term, the machine is now statistically more likely to produce a larger win to balance its recent take rate. Former employees explain this isn't the machine being due in the gambler's fallacy sense. It's the machine operating within its programmed variance range, according to technical specifications. If you know how to spot this moment, you gain an edge. But if the casino sees you hovering, watching machines, or following players, you'll get flagged instantly. Security will shadow you, according to former casino management, and you'll never get near another primed machine. That's why you must blend in. And that starts with knowing what to look for. Former technicians mention 3 visible signs gamblers can notice: no tools needed, no touching, nothing suspicious. Let me introduce you to Michael, a retired electrical engineer who spent 4 years documenting slot machine patterns at his local casino. According to his research logs, he visited the same casino 287 times over those 4 years, and he tracked something that former technicians have confirmed: observable player behavior patterns that indicate machine states. Watch for players who, according to Michael's observations, follow this exact sequence. Sit down at a machine. Play for 5 to 12 minutes. Hit a medium win, maybe 20 to 40 times their bet, and immediately cash out. Former casino management explains this behavior indicates the machine just paid out what industry insiders call a retention payout. According to technical analysis, slot machines are programmed with these small to medium wins designed to keep players engaged and prevent them from leaving. This is called a retention payout, according to former technicians. Insiders say this often signals the machine is entering its next volatility cycle soon, but many players leave right after the small win. They think they got the machine hot. They're satisfied with their small win and they cash out feeling smart. But according to pay cycle data, they just left the machine in a high activity state. Former technicians reveal that these retention payouts often occur in the 50 to 150 spin range after a player starts. The machine gives them something to keep them interested. But here's the key: according to insider reports, after a retention payout, the machine doesn't immediately go cold. According to programming patterns explained by former employees, there's often a brief window, sometimes just 20 to 60 spins, where the machine's volatility algorithm is still elevated. The player who cashed out missed it. But if you're watching, you can take their seat and catch that elevated cycle. Michael documented this pattern according to his logs. Over 6 months, he observed 43 instances where players hit small wins and immediately left. He sat down at 31 of those machines within 30 seconds of the player leaving. According to his data, 18 of those 31 sessions resulted in bonus features or wins exceeding 50 times his bet within the first 100 spins. That's a 58% success rate, according to his documentation. Compare that to random machine selection, where former employees say bonus feature frequency is typically around 25 to 30%. Michael also tracked another pattern that former technicians confirmed as significant, according to insider reports. If someone has been on a machine for 25 minutes or more with no visible excitement, no clapping, no big lights, no feature bonus, no celebration, former employees say this is a classic indication that the machine is between retention cycles. According to probability analysis explained by former technicians, a machine that's absorbed significant play without delivering a retention payout is approaching what they call a pressure point. The algorithm is tracking the coin-in versus coin-out ratio, and according to technical documentation, the machine is programmed to eventually deliver something to prevent total player abandonment. This is exactly when advantage players prepare to take over, according to insider reports. Let me tell you about Sarah, a 45-year-old teacher who learned this strategy from a former slot technician she met at a gambling seminar. According to her testimony, she started observing machines before sitting down to play. On one visit, according to her account, she noticed a man who'd been sitting at a dollar denomination machine for over 30 minutes. She discreetly watched from a nearby machine. The man showed no excitement, no reactions. He just kept hitting the button methodically, according to her observations. After 38 minutes, according to her testimony, the man got frustrated and walked away. Sarah waited exactly 2 seconds, looked around casually, and slid into his seat as if it had just opened up. According to her account, within 22 spins, the machine triggered a bonus feature that paid 127 times her bet. She cashed out with an $890 profit on a $200 session. Former employees confirmed this observation method has validity according to their experience. A machine with high play volume that hasn't delivered a significant win is statistically more likely to be approaching its next payout cycle, according to probability theory. Former casino management has revealed something about floor design that most players never notice, according to insider reports. Casinos place certain machines in specific areas where floor cameras and staff attention are naturally lower. According to David, the former technician who advised Jennifer, casinos create what industry insiders call surveillance priority zones. High-traffic areas near entrances, main walkways, and cashier cages receive constant camera coverage and staff monitoring. But certain areas receive less scrutiny, according to former security personnel. These spots include, according to insider analysis, machines positioned near bathrooms, banks near side entrances and exits, machines against back walls away from main flow, slots positioned behind tall banks that create sightline barriers, machines beside dead table game pits. According to former employees, these locations allow observant players to monitor machines naturally without appearing like they're scouting or waiting. You can stand near the bathroom entrance, pretend to check your phone, and watch an entire bank of 6 machines without looking suspicious. Jennifer tested this strategy according to her testimony. On her next casino visit, she positioned herself near a side entrance where a bank of 8 machines was located. She pretended to be waiting for someone, checking her phone periodically. For 20 minutes, she observed player behavior on all 8 machines. According to her account, she watched one machine cycle through 3 players in that 20-minute window. Each player sat down, played for 3 to 5 minutes, then left looking frustrated. The machine clearly wasn't delivering retention payouts, according to her analysis using the methods David had taught her. When the third player left, Jennifer casually walked over and sat down. According to her testimony, within 75 spins, the machine triggered a feature that paid 214 times her bet. She walked away with $1,340 profit. Former employees confirm that positioning yourself in low surveillance areas allows you to observe and execute takeover strategies without triggering security attention, according to insider knowledge. This is what former employees say players do wrong, according to insider reports. Standing directly behind someone watching their screen, hovering within 5 feet of an occupied machine, staring at screens from nearby positions, crossing your arms and clearly waiting, standing too close to players. These behaviors immediately alert casino staff, according to former security personnel. Floor managers are trained to spot advantage players, and one of the primary indicators is predatory positioning, according to insider analysis. Let me tell you about Robert, a construction worker who learned this lesson the hard way. According to his testimony, he read about machine observation strategies online and decided to try them at his local casino. He stood behind a woman playing a dollar machine, watching her screen intently. According to his account, within 3 minutes, a floor manager approached him and politely asked if he needed help finding a machine. Robert said no thanks, he was just watching. The floor manager smiled and walked away. But according to what Robert learned later, he'd been flagged. For the rest of that visit, according to his observations, a security guard seemed to be nearby wherever he went. He never got a chance to execute any strategic machine selection. Former casino management confirms this is standard protocol, according to insider reports. If a player displays scouting behavior, they're marked and monitored. Instead, advantage players use a 3-move method that former employees say is virtually undetectable, according to insider analysis. Approach the area with purpose, but not toward the target machine, according to the methodology. Act like you're heading to a different section. Pretend to check your phone as you walk. Look around naturally at multiple machines. Show no specific interest in the primed machine you've been observing. You're simply passing through the area, according to the appearance you're creating. Michael, the electrical engineer, documented this approach in his logs. According to his notes, he would observe a target machine from his blind spot position, then when the player left, he would walk past the machine toward the bathroom or restaurant. He'd glance at it briefly, the same way any player might glance at an empty machine, but he wouldn't stop. Then he'd walk 20 or 30 feet past it, turn around casually, and walk back through the area as if he'd changed his mind about where he was going. According to his methodology, this made it appear completely natural when he sat down at the machine. Former employees confirmed this creates the appearance of spontaneous decision-making rather than calculated positioning, according to insider analysis. This is the secret, according to former technicians. Don't sit directly at the primed machine immediately when the player leaves. Instead, sit at any machine next to the primed one, according to the strategy. Insiders say this is what separates amateur advantage players from sophisticated ones. When you sit at an adjacent machine, you look like you're gambling casually, not waiting for a specific machine. While playing the buffer machine, according to the methodology, glance at the primed machine casually every 2 to 3 minutes. Never stare or maintain sustained eye contact with it. Keep your body angled away, facing your own screen. Act completely unaware that you're monitoring it. You're close enough to take over instantly, but not suspiciously, according to former employees. Sarah, the teacher, used this method according to her testimony. After observing a machine that met her criteria, long play session, no visible wins, frustrated player, she watched the player leave. But instead of immediately taking that machine, she sat at the machine directly next to it. She played the buffer machine at minimum bet, just feeding it slowly, according to her account. She kept her eyes mostly on her own screen. 3 minutes later, another player walked up, looked at both machines, and chose a completely different bank across the aisle. The primed machine remained empty. After 5 minutes on her buffer machine, Sarah casually pressed the cash out button, stood up, stretched slightly, and slid one seat over to the primed machine as if she'd simply decided to move. According to her testimony, from a surveillance camera perspective or from a floor manager's view, it looked like she'd been playing that bank of machines and just shifted seats for variety. Nothing suspicious. Nothing predatory. Former casino management confirms this buffer strategy is extremely difficult to flag, according to insider reports, because it mimics normal player behavior of moving between machines in the same area. When the player gets up from your target machine and no buffer position is possible, timing becomes critical according to former employees. The methodology, according to insider analysis, is wait exactly 1 to 2 seconds after they stand up. Look around casually at multiple machines, not just theirs. Then move toward the machine as if it simply opened up. The key, according to former technicians, is you must look like someone who just noticed an available seat, not someone who was waiting for them to leave. Let me tell you about Daniel, a pharmaceutical sales rep who perfected this timing according to his testimony. He would position himself at a machine that gave him a sightline to his target. When his target player stood up, Daniel wouldn't immediately react. He'd continue playing his own machine for 2 full seconds, according to his method. Then he'd casually glance around the area, make brief eye contact with his now empty target machine, and complete his current spin on his own machine. Only then would he press cash out and walk toward the empty machine. According to his testimony, from a security perspective, it appeared he was playing one machine, noticed another opened up, and decided to move. Completely normal behavior. Former employees confirmed this 1 to 2 second delay is the critical element, according to insider analysis. Immediate movement toward a vacated machine flags you as someone who was watching and waiting. The brief delay makes it appear spontaneous. Here's something casinos never tell you, according to former management. Staff are not allowed to tell you if a machine was just playing hot or if it recently paid out, according to insider reports. But they also aren't allowed to remove you or ask you to move if you sit down immediately after someone leaves, according to casino policy. As long as you're a legitimate player with money to gamble, you can sit at any available machine. If you do it naturally, according to former employees, they can't interfere. But if you hover, follow people, or display obvious scouting behavior, security will shadow you and floor managers will engage you in conversation to disrupt your positioning, according to insider strategy. This is why blending in is essential, according to all former employees interviewed. Former casino host Rebecca, who worked at a major Las Vegas property for 7 years, explained this in an interview. According to her testimony, floor managers receive training on identifying advantage players, but the training emphasizes that management can only act on clear policy violations. Simply sitting at a machine that just became available isn't a violation. However, according to her account, if security radios that a player has been following other players or hovering, floor managers are instructed to engage that player in friendly conversation, offer them comps for restaurants or shows, basically anything to break their concentration and positioning. The most effective advantage players, according to Rebecca, are the ones management never notices because they look exactly like recreational players who happen to move around the floor naturally. Advantage players don't just sit and hope, according to former technicians. They use what industry insiders call the 20/40/60 rule, based on technical analysis of payout cycles. Here's how it works according to insider methodology. 20 spins, looking for early retention signals. If the machine delivers a small win, 10 to 30 times your bet, within the first 20 spins, that's typically just the algorithm's standard retention payout. Former employees say this is normal machine behavior and doesn't indicate you've caught a prime cycle. 40 spins, if nothing significant happens by spin 40, according to former technicians, the volatility window is building. The machine is absorbing your money on top of what it absorbed from the previous player. The pressure point is increasing, according to probability analysis. 60 spins, if no bonus feature or medium win appears by spin 60, according to the strategy, leave. The machine is likely exiting its prime state or you misjudged the cycle. You're not trying to drain the machine or chase losses, according to former employees. You're trying to catch the short volatility spike that you identified through observation. Michael, the engineer, logged this strategy extensively according to his documentation. He implemented the 20/40/60 rule on every machine takeover attempt. His logs indicate that when he caught a primed machine correctly, 73% of his wins occurred between spins 15 and 55. The few times he violated his own 60-spin rule and kept playing, according to his data, he typically lost his entire session bankroll. The machine had moved past its elevated cycle. Former technicians confirm this approach aligns with how volatility algorithms function, according to technical analysis. Machines cycle through different states, and if you haven't caught the elevated state within a reasonable window, you've likely missed it or misjudged the machine. This is how you avoid losses and maximize prime cycles, according to insider knowledge. Players lose because they stay too long, according to every former employee interviewed. Let me tell you about Patricia, a cocktail waitress who worked at a casino for 8 years and watched this pattern destroy players night after night. According to her observations, she'd see the same players come in week after week. And according to her testimony, the players who lost everything always made the same mistake. They'd hit a significant win, feel incredible, and think they'd figured out the system. So they'd keep playing. One night, Patricia overheard a conversation between two slot technicians during their break. According to her account, they were discussing what they called post-jackpot player psychology. Former casino employees reveal that casinos train staff to encourage jackpot winners to keep playing, according to insider strategy. They offer free drinks, restaurant comps, even hotel upgrades to keep winners on the floor. Here's the brutal truth, according to former technicians, the machines don't care that you just won. Every spin is independent. The probability hasn't changed. And according to psychological research referenced by former casino management, players who just won are actually more likely to make poor decisions because they're mentally playing with house money, even though it's their money. Ex-employees say the winning strategy is simple but requires discipline, according to insider reports. Before you start playing, you set 2 limits, a loss limit and a win goal. According to the methodology used by advantage players. Loss limit, your total session bankroll. If you lose at executing your strategy, you leave. No exceptions. No ATM visits. No one more try. Win goal, 40 to 60% profit on your session bankroll. According to statistical analysis, if you're up 40 to 60%, you've beaten the house edge by a significant margin, and you should lock in that win. Sarah, the teacher, implemented this strategy according to her testimony. She decided her standard session bankroll would be $200, with a loss limit of $200 and a win goal of $100. On her most successful session, according to her account, she hit her win goal within 40 minutes of sitting down at a primed machine. Every part of her wanted to keep playing. The machine felt hot. She felt lucky. But she forced herself to press cash out and walk away. She left with $300 total. According to her testimony, over the next year, she made 18 casino visits using this discipline. She hit her win goal in 7 of those visits, broke even in 4, and lost her bankroll in 7. But because she locked in her wins every time and cut her losses at exactly her limit, she finished the year up $3,200, according to her calculations. Former employees state this is the secret nobody wants you to know, according to insider analysis. The way to win at slots isn't to hit massive jackpots. It's to catch primed machines, extract modest wins consistently, and have the discipline to walk away. According to casino analytics referenced by former management, less than 2% of players have this discipline. That's why casinos are profitable. The other 98% keep playing until they give everything back. There's one more element that former employees specifically mentioned as insider knowledge most players never learn, according to technical documentation. Let me tell you about Lisa, a professional poker player who decided to study slot machine patterns during her off days at the casino. According to her documented research, she discovered something fascinating about timing. Lisa noticed, according to her observations, that certain times of day produced better slot results than others. At first she thought it was random variance, but after tracking data over 5 months, she identified a pattern. Machines seemed to hit more frequently during shift changes, according to her data. Specifically between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., and between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Former casino employees have confirmed this observation has a basis in operational reality, according to insider reports. Here's what happens according to technical documentation. When casino shifts change, slot technicians make rounds to check machine performance data. According to former technicians, if a machine has been running cold, meaning it hasn't paid out significantly for an extended period and it's approaching a point where its hold percentage might trigger a performance review, the technician can make small adjustments. They can't change the RTP directly without regulatory approval, according to gaming commission rules. But according to insider knowledge, they can adjust volatility settings within the approved range. What this means, according to former employees, is that machines identified as running cold during shift change inspections often get slight volatility adjustments that make them more likely to hit bonuses in the coming hours. It's not manipulation according to legal definitions because the RTP remains within the certified range, according to regulatory standards. But it is a tactical adjustment according to casino floor management strategies. Lisa tested this theory according to her logs. She made 14 trips to casinos specifically during the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. window. She used the observation and takeover strategies combined with the shift change timing. According to her results, she hit jackpots over 100 times her bet in 9 of those 14 sessions. That's a 64% jackpot hit rate. On her regular afternoon sessions using the same strategies, her jackpot hit rate was about 38%, according to her data. The shift change timing made a measurable difference according to her documentation. Former employees also reveal another time-based strategy according to insider reports. Weekday mornings, specifically Tuesday through Thursday between 9 a.m. and noon, are optimal playing times. According to casino analytics, these are the slowest periods for slot play. Casinos run promotions and adjust machine performance to attract players during these dead periods, according to former management. They sometimes instruct technicians to ensure a certain number of jackpots hit during slow periods to create buzz and attract more players, according to insider testimony. Casinos design the floor to make you move randomly, according to former employees. They want you choosing machines based on themes, colors, sounds, anything except strategic analysis. But advantage players move with intent, according to insider reports. If you can identify prime machines using the 3 observation signals, take them over naturally using the buffer strategy and proper timing, execute the 20/40/60 rule once seated, and exit with discipline when you hit your win goal, you're already ahead of 98% of players walking into a casino, according to former employees. Remember, according to all insider testimony, this isn't about getting lucky. It's about mathematics, observation, strategy, and most importantly, discipline. Casinos are businesses designed to profit, according to former management. But armed with this knowledge, according to former insiders, you can tilt the odds more in your favor than the vast majority of players ever will. The biggest wins don't go to the luckiest players, according to former technicians. They go to the ones who sit down at the right machine at the right moment, and have the discipline to walk away when that moment passes. Subscribe for more insider-level secrets casinos pray you never learn.